Good Monday morning, foggers. I hope everybody had a good Easter weekend. Like I always tell you, I hope you remember it. I hope things didn't get out of control for you. And I hope that, as we discussed yesterday, there was that hope that we always have, right? Mental health, suicide prevention, addiction, that we're trying to get better, right? So this whole weekend was a lot, I should say, frustrating. We had the NYPD, and this is going to be a little bit of a strong video for you guys. I do this once in a while, but you know, I'm human just like you guys, and I need to speak to family, right? That's what we're doing here. So we had the funeral of NYPD, right? And it seems like we've had it so many times in our past. You know, the most popular cop seems to be a dead one, right? And I hate to say that because, you know, when we lose a brother or sister, all of a sudden everybody wants to be involved. You know, everybody wants to go to the funeral and everybody wants to cry. And I'm not talking about brothers and sisters in blue. I'm talking about, you know, the public and the media. And so, you know, it was a very strong, emotional funeral, like it should be. Should have all the accolades and all the stuff. But, you know, we know here in mental health that the departments are not backing us up at all. And so we see, you know, all the bells and whistles, and yet there's officers that are killing themselves slowly with addiction, right? And we're asking for help and nobody's coming, right? Like we talk about, there's no sirens. We don't hear anybody coming. And so, you know, that brought back a lot of emotion for me. So, you know, this officer, he did all the things he was supposed to do. He wore his vest. And there's just things that we're not going to control. There's things that are going to happen in our profession that are tragic. And we pay homage to him from here on out, right? We try to take care of his family as best as we can. And NYPD is very good at that. So there was another incident. And this is not about being Monday morning quarterback, and I won't get into the department or the officer, but out in the West Coast, there was a tactical scenario, and for civilians that are following along here, I'll make it as simple as possible for you guys. So we have some guy inside of a house who's shooting up the house. Police respond. Our SWAT team arrives. They perimeterize. They do what they have to do. Start negotiating with the guy. The guy ends up coming out with an edge weapon, right? And he decides to not only come out, but attack officers in close distance rapidly with an edge weapon. So we have many, many tools in our toolbox, right? We have less lethal, where, you know, when the scenario fits, in order to go straight to deadly force, we can deploy these things, bean bags and bolo balls and tasers and gas and all these things. But the reason why I'm addressing this is, you know, there's so much noise in our profession and there's so much pressure that our law enforcement is under now that, you know, you have a subject with an edge weapon that already shot up the inside of the house. You have a tactical team, a SWAT team, who has the very, very top training and all the toys and bells and whistles. And this guy comes out with an edge weapon and attacks officers and closes the distance rapidly. And we shoot less lethal and deploy a dog that gets fucking stabbed and cut up to shit, right? And we take the subject into custody. The frustration that I have, and I'm not Monday morning quarterback, but I've been in scenarios, so I can talk about this, right? 10 out of 10 times you come at me with an edge weapon, I'm gonna cancel your fucking contract right there on the spot. I'm not going to allow that guy to kill me and prevent me from going home to my family or kill one of my officers. And the problem is, with all the pressure and all the noise and all the bullshit and political stuff that's going on, we now as a profession are under so much more pressure, right? And that pressure and those trauma scenarios are going to lead to more and more alcohol, substance, and eventually, and I hope that I'm wrong, more suicides. And what we're doing here at 3 a.m. and Travis Gribble does at my arena, and the other Travis, and all the advocates that we're trying to do in this country, is to show you guys that at some point, there's a breaking point for us and you need to reach out. Nobody else gives a shit about you. If you haven't seen it yet, go look at the news. Nobody gives a shit about you. You get a little tiny respect when you get killed. Okay? We know that. We know that. Nobody else wants to hear that, but that's the reality of it. So what we're trying to do here is to teach you guys that the waves of shit are going to continue. And the waves are going to get bigger as we get closer to elections and political stuff, and more noise is going to come. In a scenario like that should have been handled a different way. And again, I can say it because I've been there. All right. We can't allow the outside noise and pressures to change who we are. I mean, we're very blessed that those officers didn't get killed and we're not going to another funeral. Okay. So the message today is a little bit stronger than normal, but it has to be said. You have to get yourself, your mind and your body right. And you have to relieve those pressures by therapy, by peer counseling, by just reaching out, by talking, by venting. If we keep bottling our stuff in there, you're going to hit the bottle and you're going to hit pill bottles and you're going to hit every bottle that you don't want to hit. Okay. And we can't do that. All right. So my message to you guys is today, make that step. You know, if you don't want to talk to a peer, whatever, call your insurance. Just set up therapy, counseling. Even if you don't have a problem, you need to have, like I tell people, we're not slow cookers, we're pressure cookers. And you need to release that valve and get stuff out, okay? Even more if you have stuff from childhood issues like we've talked about, and the connections and the triggers. You know, there's a world of shit out there, okay? And we're in it, like I told you. Remember the analogy I used, the cook smells like food, the mechanic gets dirty? Well, we work in a world of shit. So how do you think you're gonna be? You're gonna be covered in shit. So do what you can for you, okay? We're asking you to reach out. If it's not to have coffee one day and we can talk, reach out to a peer support in your department. But you have to do that. Release that valve and get shit out. Tough times are coming. This is nothing. The noise is gonna increase and the bullshit is gonna increase. I'm very happy that the dog is gonna be fine. As a former handler myself, I hate to see any animal hurt, especially one that serves. And I'm even more grateful that we didn't lose officers on that scene. And my condolences go out to NYPD as an agency, to that wife and that poor son that's gonna grow up now without his father. And that's just fucking horrible. But nobody cares. Nobody outside of us and the people that back the blue and civilians that are good are gonna care. And you should be extra good to those people and seek them out when they come across you. Be extra nice to them. And to the bad guys, be extra mean to them. Do your job and do it right, but don't take shit from anybody, all right? And with that, I bid you a happy Monday. Be safe, hydrate, meal prep, lift, walk, get all that funk and all that shit that's in your mind and your body, get it out, all right? Happy Monday, guys. 3 a.m. fog.